one thing that I wanted to mention, and this is partially my fault, I think we had a great discussion on the adding fleet maintained apps in YAML. That was actually a separate ticket than auto install. So, but we were supposed to talk about yesterday, not supposed to. But auto install was like the main thing we were supposed to talk about yesterday. I conflated, well, I had added the fleet maintained things because that was a ticket that had already been passed through with Noah to that, which is why we saw it. But I think the discussion was good, and went back and I updated the fleet maintained apps and YAMLs ticket and Figma. So to look at what this looks like, um,
So,
and here,
sorry, we have like two stories. Like one is to add actually fleet maintain apps in GitOps,
correct,
and then there is second one which is about just about auto install feature, so it
correct,
can be done. Okay.
correct. So originally they were one ticket, and then they were
Hmm.
separated, and then the fleet maintained one went through, but the one we taught, and then auto install was going to be second because fleet maintained happening before auto install makes sense. But since we saw the fleet maintain stuff in the auto install, all those questions came up, which I thought were good ones. And so I went back. So I went back and I pulled the adding fleet maintain ticket back from user story review into in progress for us to talk about because also Ian had thoughts on how to surface IDs and things like that and how to name them. So, as we saw, so this stuff isn't really changed that much. This fleet maintained definition here, we actually removed from up here. Added an example for fleet maintained app. So here you'll notice that um, as per Ian's suggestion, we're putting the platform as part of the app already, and this goes to your point, Tim, about supporting like Windows in the future and other platforms. So we could be very clear about which platform it is. And then down here we have the definition for fleet maintained app ID and saying that app IDs can be copied from the app library page on fleet.com. So looking at what that would look like. So here's the app library on fleetdm.com. So the current thinking is that we can have a copy ID link, which would copy it for you rather than surfacing it, because in the future, when we have multiple things, we'd be able to do a drop down where when you copy ID, you can choose Mac OS or Windows. And then I have a little table over here of what to call the different things because we will be making our own token slash slug.
I think just small feedback on this one here. I think we don't use this sort of kind of underscore um in the UI, so probably like I think we should call it like fleet maintained ID, something that then maybe add tooltip to explain where it's used actually or something like that.
This is this
I think
isn't
that's
this isn't being surfaced anywhere.
mm,
This is the table for dev to know what things are called.
all right. Okay. Yeah,
So this is,
and also
but
one
you were
more
saying,
thing,
but you're saying we don't use underscores?
I don't think it's like in the UI at least, like
Oh
we
no,
don't
no,
have
oh,
any.
okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. This is not UI. This is basically to say this is what the YAML. This is what we're. These are the names for the different things. So this is
But
basically just for,
here,
this is just for dev to say, hey, oh, but here, okay, here. But the thing is, like, if we don't, oh, so you want to say fleet maintained app ID without underscore.
yeah, the thing is, I think if user is using UI, they most probably like use just UI. I think we have this initiative to work on like read-only UI for GitOps users. So it could be handy for them like just to do like copy ID. But yeah, I would say like fleet maintained ID, for example. Probably ID should be all caps. And then if necessary, add some tooltip to explain like what is ID actually for. I think that's pattern we use in general.
Mhm.
I think like website is more useful because like if you go to some like fleet maintain app and then it's added to the team, like you won't see it anymore in that list. So actually you don't see like kind of full scope of the apps. But yeah, anyway, I think could be handy to have it in the UI as well. So I think that's fine.
Are you saying we should just, oh, so you're saying this is fine?
Yeah, I guess it's okay. But yeah, like so I
I
think
mean, this
that's
is definitely more useful. I mean, we can lose it from here if we want to like reduce things we're doing.
no, I think if fine. So this model is basically if you go to like list of fleet maintain apps when you're adding fleet maintain app,
Yeah,
and then you have those details. But the thing is, yeah, like if you already added
you're
app
gonna
to the
see it.
team, it won't be available in that like list. So like
Right.
you won't be able to find. So the kind of source of truth would be like I think website,
Right.
or if you have team that don't have any fleet maintain app, then you can see all of them, like all 20 we have or more in the future. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to say. Just to yeah. So I guess like it's better to just link to, but I think you did already in documentation. You're linking to
I'm linking.
website.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
linking. I'm linking to the website. This is just a secondary way of getting to things, but I'm okay removing this because it's definitely not as useful and it's a lot more hidden.
Yeah, I know, like probably because we don't know yet if it's really necessary. We can always add that later, so probably like save some time. It makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, I'll drop that. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns?
Yeah, I don't know, like just I'm not sure about I think this slug that we have, like platform slash and then actually the ID, probably it makes sense. I know like usually we have like additional field like platform, so I don't know, did we consider that? Why is this better like way? So in the YAML you would have like okay, for example, Slack, like ID Slack, and then below additional field platform. Would that be? I think it would be a bit more like specific, I guess, more explicit. But I don't know, like
Then what
just
would it
trying to.
default?
Yeah, I
So
guess
if
we'll need to have either default or error if someone doesn't specify platform. But yeah, like
right, is that
which
more
is
stuff you have to do though?
probably yes. Like I think it's yeah. From the user point of view, I guess it's easier to just copy whole kind of ID with platform included.
Right. Like, because then you're, yeah, because it's basically one thing you're doing versus like two, and there's like more error prone, there's more error options, or there's
I think
more
here we,
ways to screw up.
yeah, I guess like if someone tries, like here also like Darwin Slack, but the Slack is not available for Darwin, we need also some error. I think also I think we need some error if ID is wrong. I'll just add that to the errors if user. I guess probably it's worth having two like dedicated errors, like if app is existing but platform is wrong, or we could have generic one, I guess, if we just say, okay, this ID is not doesn't exist, so it's then up to the user to check, okay, probably yeah, easier to maintain. Otherwise, we need to do like check, okay, do we have Slack? Yes. And then do we have this platform? No. And then, um, but yeah, I'll just know it. So I'd say it's up to you.
Well, Tim, how much work do you want to do?
Lots.
Oh, did we lose Tim? Oh, there he is.
So
Huh?
much. Now,
Like this to be simpler and just saying this doesn't exist, or do we want to do the checks to actually be more explicit about why things are failing?
I guess it's like it actually like if you have wrong platform, for example, here actually you misspelled, so it's Darwin, you're missing R. So this
Mhm.
won't work. So it's like platform doesn't exist. But yeah, like we will need to check a lot of cases. So like I think it's easier if we just say, okay, you don't have like this ID doesn't exist. Please check website or and then you link to the website probably like for the list of available IDs. And then I think it's easier for us to maintain and like easier to build for engineers, I think. So to keep it like smaller for now. We can always
Yeah.
improve, I guess.
As alternative, you guys were saying to have a separate platform key.
Oh yeah,
That's yeah.
I was saying a separate platform key is like a lot. It's more work for the user and it's more error prone versus like if you
Yeah,
come here and just copy ID, you just get it all, right?
yeah,
Because if you have to
yeah.
copy ID and then add like a platform, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, I guess it's easier than for platform. They need to think, okay, what platforms are supported? Is it like Darwin? Is it like macOS? Is it like
mhm.
how do I? So usually we have Darwin. There is no macOS in the API, but yeah, like no, it's you just copy and that's it pretty much. So um, I think
Okay.
yeah, makes sense to me.
Oh, so one question that I have then, um, so we're not responsible for this, right? So then how do we like ask or request that this happen?
I think you should just add like request to digital experience and probably like if yeah, I guess like ping
Right. Do
in the
that in the
Slack Eric or Mike Thomas, like that we would like to prioritize this together with feature that software team is working. So they
like
yeah, they have like
do I
sorry.
write a separate ticket on that or do I add it to the current ticket?
I think yeah, they have separate board. So we should probably add like digital experience ticket to their board with designs that you're proposing, and I think it's probably up to, yeah, like and Mike Thomas probably should check it if that aligns with like other website stuff, like if they have maybe they have some copy buttons already and stuff like that. So just to make it consistent with the rest of the docs in the website. But what I would do is like I would add digital experience ticket and probably assign it to Mike Thomas and then yeah, either left comment or ping him in the digital experience channel just to give context that this is like related to the story you're working on and then that we should prioritize this together like or before this feature is released, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, like you'll need to coordinate with Mike Thomas on this.
Okay. And so then, okay, so I just add it by adding it to the digital experience board, I just add the label digital experience,
Yeah, I'll just left note and
correct?
add, add to,
And then I guess in this ticket, I should mention it somewhere, I guess at the top. So I'll link, I guess, that ticket as a dependency to this ticket.
right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, cool. So I'll do those things and I'll probably move this to user review then. All right. Next then we can go back to talking about our auto install ticket. So, in conversations with Ian, I don't know if you caught up on that. Actually, let me just bring up the ticket again. Did Ian write it here? Hopefully he did. Test files. General programs. Oh, I don't think he wrote it. I don't know where he wrote it now. But he had a response to using present. Oh, here it is. Using present versus
Hmm.
install. And his take was that, right. So he's like, he said install would be fine, but Puppet and Ansible use present. And since we're getting into the realm of configuration management, matching what other folks are doing makes a little more sense to him. And he also mentioned that YAML is different than the UI, is YAML is declarative, blah, 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 versus the UI.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think yeah, it makes sense from that perspective that like it's I guess if folks are kind of used to that language and other tools, but also like ensure present. Like today, like I think if you say that what we do, we create that automatic like policy that automatically installs software. But if end user removes that software, um, I think is Fleet going to install again? I think so. So yeah,
Yeah,
like that would actually yeah, that would mean okay, the Fleet will make sure that it's present on the
correct.
certain host. Yeah.
Because GetOps, I think the rule is GetOps always overrides whatever people are doing in the UI.
Yes.
Yeah, right, yeah. But it's I'm not talking about UI, like there is like I'm talking about end users, so like user that's using a computer that's software installed on. So like if they remove it from so let's say I'm in some company and then admin sets like this to be present, it gets installed by this automatic policy. And then
Hello.
as an end user, I remove it. I uninstall software from my host. Then Fleet, I think, will again uh, run policy and install again. Is that the case?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah,
yes.
right. So yeah, then present makes I think sense. I
Yeah.
guess installed as well, but yeah. Um,
I just want to point out that might not be a heavy use case. That might be, you know, if a user really wants to doesn't need a piece of software, we should let them. So do we have that defined as, yeah, install once, but don't force the install if it disappears?
On our
Yep.
automatic install policies, we we don't do install once. Like if the policy starts failing again, um,
Mm,
like we push another install, and I think that is the expected behavior. Um, of like that, make sure this is installed because it could be like some AV thing or whatever.
yeah, those would be the, yeah, kind of the exact case where I want this installed no matter what. Um,
yeah, I don't
Hey,
know. Like I will
go
leave
ahead.
that up to you, Gene. Like I don't know, like if you both know about this language, probably worth including Rachel because like when you raise PR for docs, Rachel will be reviewer, so maybe she has some thoughts on it as well. And what I'm seeing as well is like upgraded. So I think so far we didn't use that word anywhere. Like it's usually update, OS updates. Uh, like I think in the docs it's usually updates. So maybe I don't know if
Yeah, but
updated makes sense.
it's the state, right? Because you're not upgrading. You want the state to be upgraded, and you want the state to be present or present. So it's like a slightly different.
I don't
Lexigraphically,
know.
it's slightly different.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm yeah just thinking from the isn't like that synonym like update or upgrade? Isn't that same word? Um, and then you say like updated and
So
upgraded.
I think what I was keying off of here was the original YAML design was like only upgrade or something like that, where
Hmm.
it's like if this is installed, push it up to the whatever version is specified. If not, then you don't need to install it. And uh, I I have no opinion of update versus upgrade. We can be consistent about that. It's just a matter of like this should be a state thing rather than another flag, just so that we're not. There are fewer ways to configure this incorrectly. Um,
No,
but like
no,
the
makes
the
sense to
tense
me. Yeah.
matters, the updated versus upgraded, like updated seems fine to me.
Yeah, I'll just but I think that's not isn't that like is that part of this story? I don't think so.
So
It's just
upgraded feature. Right
It's
now,
future work.
yeah.
right. Like yeah, I just I saw comments, so probably like we can talk about it later, I guess. But anyway, so ensure present would be similar or same as you do in the UI, like if you set automatic install for packages. So for fleet maintain apps and for VPP as well. And I think right now I can't remember, but yeah, I think we should probably you should look Eugene, what errors do we have in the UI in those features? Like probably looking through Figma files just to make sure to cover all use cases. Like I don't know what could happen exactly, but yeah, just comparing what we have today and then just to point out. And I guess like Ian or whoever is working could help you as well. Like if we miss something. Um, and I think, and then yeah, we'll have for each type this ensure flag, which makes sense. You right, you added this docs, but yeah, I would just suggest if you can make PR to with these changes
Yep.
and add it to the docs branch so Rachel can review.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think yeah, I guess it's helpful for you to see this like in Figma and easier to. But yeah, I think we should try to have PR as soon as possible.
Definitely, I will be doing PR. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm doing this in Figma because it's easier to review versus looking at the other thing. But as soon as we're agreed on this, this is
Mhm.
also it's also so I don't go back and change the PRs a zillion times. Like I want us to agree on the approach, and then I'll write the PR.
Okay, sounds good
What
to me.
what are the other states besides present?
So in the future, what we're talking about, and this is future work, right? So don't
Okay.
get on this right now.
So I mean,
But
in the short term, present will be the only.
Yes.
Okay.
correct. So in the future, it's in this comment. Where it's going to be like absent to remove all the apps and upgraded, which will only upgrade on hosts that currently have it. And then we're going to add versions so you can do current, latest, or like various operators.
Cool, sounds good. Yeah, I think I would just run the logic and the experience makes sense to me. I would just run this by Rachel for the language stuff probably once more and not. But yeah, to me, yeah, looks good. And then those error messages. Uh,
Mhm.
I guess I don't know if I'm missing something else, but yeah, probably you'll figure out at the end and see if there is something else besides what we discussed. But yeah, I don't have any other thoughts.
Okay. We're at time right now, actually, and we're at the bounce. Sorry, Haziel, was there something you wanted to get to? I saw you joined. Unfortunately, we're out of
Uh-uh.
time.
So like there's some learnings, and correct me if I'm wrong, Haziel, but there are some learnings from going through App Store install, removal, management, that sort of thing. And um like we have all right, okay, we could either have an opinion on this and just like have that be the set opinion, or make this thing configurable for a few different items. I posted in Slack of what those items are. Um, I guess we can pick this up
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think
Maybe.
then
Yeah.
maybe the next step there is writing. I'm gonna write up a document with all the findings for the different platforms, and then kick that back to like post that in the Spike ticket and kind of let product chew on it. Um, but yeah, I joined because I thought I remembered in stand up there was going to be talk about the FMA engineering initiated thing. That was the
Yeah,
main reason.
get to that.
But no big deal that we couldn't get to it.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
See you.
Bye.
See you, bye.